Hey everybody, welcome to What Up Clay Channel. We talk about kind of things, how to fix things, build things, and maintain things, and product reviews. And here I have a product review. It's an ORCA brushless motor, 17.5T. Just came in. Let's say we open this box that has not been opened yet and see what's inside. So this right here, the ORCA. This is the Blitreme, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Got it from Dollar Hobby. They had a sell on it, so I got a good deal on it. Anyhow, this came out in about late 2024. 17.5T, brand new, haven't opened it yet. I went to the website to try to get some info on it. And all it says is it's a 17.5 brushless censored motor. It's 540 sized, hand wound, and roar proof. That's it. That's all it says about it. There's no other information on this, so I can't tell you. But let's go ahead and open this thing up. Grab my little toothpick here. Oh, by the way, it's my new toothpick right here. Just got, matter of fact, it's the first time I'm using it to cut anything open. Alright, so got this thing open. I bought this because it was on sale, and I gotta say, it's like the coolest looking motor that I've seen out there, just because it's, you know, a different design. It's hand wound, so I mean that's kind of a big thing there. I don't know what that is. That an 8 or is that an infinity? I don't know what to tell you. The windings in it look very good. I see they're very uniform. I don't see any crisscrossing on it. The reason why I look at crisscrossing, because crisscrossing, when the wires are, instead of going like this and wrapping around, you'll sometimes see motors that will be crisscrossed and wrap around. Well, that adds a link to the wire, and is gonna do anything really? Probably not, but it just looks sloppy. This is hand wound, and some people like hand wound because of attention detail, but sometimes, you know, machines, they don't have bad days. But yeah, this looks like a very clean build, very clean winding. The timing numbers are very well printed, as well as the arrow. You can see that there, it's very pronounced. The data plug, the sensor port, comes out the top. Some people might not like that because, well, most motors, they sit in there like this, so you're going to end up having the sensor wire come up and down, so it could get damaged. But yeah, it's really cool looking motor, really cool design. I like it. It's one of a kind. It goes to show that it's you know, probably not one of those knockoffs that you see. It does have the narrow stator. The narrow stators, they give you a high RPM, less torque. But yeah, I would say we go ahead and put this thing on the tunalizer. See where it's tuned at. It looks like it's already pre-tuned. Don't know. I don't see any paperwork in here. No stickers. What's up, ORCA? No stickers? Come on now. You gotta give some stickers. Gotta show off some of that silver bling you got going on here. But alright, let's go ahead and put it on the tunalizer, see what it does. For those of you who are wondering, these motors here, they run about $120. The casing is it's a single piece case. In other words, you don't have a separate front and a separate back. It's just the front is all one case. You have just like the shoot, I can't remember the name of the brand right now, but I know you're screaming it out right now. The screws are at the top. They hold the back end together, and then everything just comes right off the back. But let's go ahead and yeah, let's go ahead and put it on a tunelizer, see what it can do. Okay, so I have the ORCA here, Blitreme 3, Blitreme 3, whatever. Go ahead and slap that in here. That's a tight fitting motor, most because the can on this thing is pretty thick. Okay, let's go ahead and run it and see where we're at. We'll run it, then we'll tune it best we can, then we'll take it apart and retune it and go from there. Yeah, there you have your numbers right there. It's set at 4.44 amps, 45.4 degrees. .7, 4.7, 4.8. Motor symmetry, Hall center deviation. I mean, that's one of the highest I've seen of motors of this caliber. It's not really bad. Bad is when you're getting up to like the sixes, but it's getting there. It's pretty close. Temperature 88 degrees, so it's running pretty cool. So instead of tuning it, let's just go ahead and we'll take it apart, because I'm going to tune it again. No sense in tuning it twice, right? So we'll go ahead and take it apart, do some measurements, and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and do the RPMs first, see what the RPMs is on this thing. 23,500. Looks like it's reaching up there. Not too bad. Not one of the fastest, but that doesn't mean anything until you get a load on it, right? Might have a ton of torque. But okay, let's go ahead and take it apart, tune it up a little bit, and we'll definitely be getting more RPMs out of this thing, because it's only 4.5 amps. Try to get up around 5.5, 5.25, somewhere around there, and see what it does. All right, but for now, we'll take it apart. Okay, so we have it apart. When you take this thing apart, because you have to pull from the back end, it's a booger. You know, you have to use your tool here, and then you have to push the shaft through, and then use like a needle or something like that to continue to push it through, so you can grab a hold from the back. Don't use pliers or anything like that, because you'll jack up the back of the shaft. So it came with the Teflon shims right here. Here, I'll show you this part. So it had it that shimmed on the back end. Well, it stands off the sensor ports quite a bit. So that might be one reason why the Hall deviation and stuff like that were kind of far, you know, in the fours. We probably get that closer by taking that off. I don't have any Teflon shims though, so I'd have to use the brass shims. But to be honest with you, it doesn't make a difference. You watch my video on that. Brass shims and versus the Teflon shims, it didn't make a difference in performance or anything like that. So, but I will shim it to get it closer. If I take it off, it does rub, so won't do that. Another thing I noticed on the stator, the gap between the stator, I don't know if you can see that, the gap between the stator and the rotor is probably the most gap I've ever seen, because one thing is, normally when I put this inside of a motor, it rubs the stator and I have to like push down. You can see it scratched up on the side from hitting the stator. You're gonna try and push in. This one here, I mean, it just drops right in, and it wiggles around. So haven't had that with the stator before. I first noticed it because when I looked inside when the rotor was in there, I noticed right away, wow, that's a lot of gap. Also down inside, I don't know if you can see it, I kind of wiped some of it, but there is debris down there. I don't know if you can see it down there. Yeah, there's a bit of debris. So, I mean, brand new, it shouldn't have any debris down there, but there's a little bit. Doesn't seem to be any debris on anything else. I put my finger in there and wipe it out. There's nothing on my finger. Again, the windings, they look really good. I don't know if you want me to keep my light on it. I need to get better lighting, I guess, but the windings, they do look pretty good. They're pretty uniformed. Very well hand wound. The case on this is pretty thick. Which is good in some ways because it helps absorb heat, takes the heat off the stator, and also adds rigidity to the motor itself too. So if you want to know what the let's go ahead. The inductance. I'm going to run the inductance meter on it. We'll run A first. It's going to be kind of hard to get a... I'll have to do this way. Here so you can see it. It's about 37.05. You guys happy with that? I'm happy with that. That's pretty low. 37.45. That's for the B. And then the C. $36.7. That's for the seat. Okay. And the sensor plate, it does have a coating on it to help protect it. That's good because it helps protect from moisture and debris, and especially in carpet racing. I don't know if the bearings on here are ceramic or metal. I don't know. So the sensors, they are horizontal on here. Again, I like to see the sensor port come out, not from the top. Or if it's going to come from that direction, maybe from the side or something like that. But I don't know, I guess from the top they know they don't have to worry about any obstruction. Might be some obstruction from the back or whatever, but you know. I was worried about the sensor wire getting messed up. So here's the rotor. Part number is R2. I don't know if you read that in there. It's RT23HS12548. It's also right here on the Chichinga there on the shaft. Has an epoxy for balancing. Diameter of this thing. Oops. Make sure I'm zeroed out with it. Okay. Diameter of this, I mean, it might be a narrow rotor. It's 12.46. No, I forgot to measure the length of the stator on here. Let's see if we can make it hard to go straight up and down. There it is. 20.10. By the way, this thing does, because it doesn't have the epoxy in here, does meet the new rules for, they're going to come in effect in, well, they're taking place now. All motors from, well, not now, but next month in September 2025, the new rule takes place for the no epoxy, new motors can't come with epoxy on them. But the motors that do have epoxy on them, that are already rule change, will be legal until the end of 2026. So it'll be December 26th will be the last time you're allowed to use them. But like I said, people will be swapped out motors by then. That's over a year away. All right, so let's go back to the rotor. Let's check out the rotor strength. Bust out the Rotor Master by WMH Racing. If you don't have one of these, go to WMHRacing.com. You pick yourself up one. Same thing with the motor tray I have here. You see this motor tray? Pick that up from WMH Racing also, and it comes with the rotor removal tool. If anything, that right there is worth the money. That thing's very nice. Okay, reset that. Doing the south side first, south side. $17.49 is the highest I got. $17.50. All right, let's go to the north side. El Norte. $17.58 looks like it's the highest I got. So $17.61 and $17.50. All right, let's I think that's all the measurements I have. Did I miss anything? Anybody think of anything? Nope. All right, let's go ahead and put it back together. We'll go ahead and tune it and see what type of performance we can get out of this thing. Okay, it's all back together again. I have it tuned, I have it shimmed. Let's go ahead and whoops, slap it in here. Come on now, get in there. There we go. And auto run. Okay, what we have is 440, about the same amount of amps as before. 3139. That, I think that's more kV than it was before. And 45.5 degrees. That's how this looks. Rotor symmetry and everything is the same. End bell deviation, I don't remember what it was before. I think it was like 0.7. Anyway, now it's a 0.1. I put the rotor a little bit closer to the sensor board, so let's go ahead and run the RPM. See what we got in the RPM area. Looks like we got before it was bouncing between 23,400 to 500. Now it's going, we got as high as 600. So I'd say we got at least an average of 50 RPMs higher. So let's go ahead and tune it. Let's see if we can get a little bit more out of it and go from there. Okay, I went up about 1 degree. It's now right on the 50 degree mark on the motor can. Let's see what the actuality is. The actual timing is 48.1. We're about 5 amps, 3183 kV. None changed there. It's all the same. RPM. We gained about 300 RPM. Went up about 0.6. So let's I don't know. Let's see if we can probably get one more twist out of it, one more degree maybe. See if we can get this thing to get about 5.5 amps, 5.25 amps. Okay, let's see what we got. .45, 3208 kV, 49.7. None changed there. On the RPMs. Looks like we've gained about another 200-300 RPMs, about another 300 RPMs. I think I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and because what's happening now is the I moved to 1 degree. It jumped. The amperage wise, it jumped to about a 0.5 amp. Where before I adjusted it at 1 degree and it went up like 0.4. So what's happening now is it's starting to more and more going up. It's starting to draw more amperage. So I don't want that. Let's go ahead and put on a load and see how this thing does on Loadmaster. Okay, here we go. We're going to put on the Loadmaster. I might, after this, I might drop the timing down a little bit just to test it to see how well it does. Looking at the numbers, it didn't look like we gained much by going 0.4 amps. Let's go ahead and take a look. Putting on a load will tell the truth. (1216 amps). Nothing really there changed. Let's go ahead and do a RPM test on it. 21,800. Bouncing around there. 21,800 and a 1216 amps. You know, let's go ahead and back it off just a little bit. See what kind of reading we get. right there, it seemed like it felt loose, but I guess not. They're tight. Okay. All right, now let's see what we have here. What we're looking for is a lower amp draw with either the same or more RPM. I guess we do the RPM first. We had 21,800. Like I say, we lost about 100 RPM. But let's see what the amp draw is total. So we lost over a half amp and 100 RPM. So, I mean, that's good because you only lost 100 RPMs, but you also chewed up a half amp less. That's pretty good. So we're going to keep it right there. So if you're wondering what the timing is set at, if you want to know what the other numbers are, there are the other numbers right there. This is going to be the without a load, because whenever the motor's on a load, the timing on it changes when it's under a load. .6 degrees is what we're set at. So I'm gonna leave it there. I like it there. Like as I was said before in my other videos, that's what's nice about Loadmaster is you can actually adjust it. And this motor here obviously is not a real torquey motor by the way it's designed and stuff like that. It's probably going to be more about RPM, but yeah, let's go ahead and put all the numbers on the spreadsheet, go over the numbers, and then I'll give my final thoughts on the motor. But before I give my final thoughts on the motor, I forgot I didn't do the RPM run without load. So let's do the RPM run without the load. $23,900 is what it's going to be bouncing around to. All right, let's go ahead and now we'll do the numbers and do the spreadsheet. So again, guys, I apologize for the poor microphone. I've tried different types of microphones, aftermarket microphones, whatever, and it doesn't do any good. It still comes with the same quality of sound. So if anybody has an idea how I can fix that, let me know. Put it down there in the comment section. So also, with there being tens of thousands of racers out there, this is my disclaimer. I know there's going to be 1,000 different in opinions on what these numbers mean. This is strictly my opinion. If you have a different opinion, please share your opinions with us. I'm not a motor engineer. I don't know every ins and out of motors. All I do is I test them and I post the numbers on what I have and what I see. So, that being said, let's move on. Motor weight, 5.1. Rotor number, Gauss is pretty strong, 1766 on average. Inductance is pretty low. Stator IR is about average. But here's so with the numbers of the ORCA Blitreme 3. Anybody knows why they came up with that and what that means? Please let me know also. Let's see the rest of the numbers. Performance numbers we have. Start with 4.44. So tuning it. So here I have it at 5 amps. And you notice that the numbers, even at 5 amps, I mean, I got a higher number right here after I tuned to 4.73, and then the numbers here. The RPMs here are higher when it was at the 5.45, but if you look at the amp draw, I mean, it's like 0.75 amps higher, and you're only getting like 120 RPMs higher. That's not very good. It's not a very good trade-off. So kick it down over here to the 4.73 and so on. So this is a smaller stator motor. If you notice, we'll see how it compares to the other motors. Boom, 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 boom. So the weight-wise, the Speed Zone is the lightest. It's the lightest motor I've tested yet. 4.8 ounces. Diameter-wise, for the stator on the ORCA is 35.09. What? Sorry, that's the stator IR. 34.3 and 30.4.35. Then you get the Fat Boys stators that are up here at the 35. That's about a 1.5 millimeter thicker in diameter. Rotor weights are the same. Start to notice that the newer motors that are coming out, their rotors are a lot stronger than they were before. I mean, before it was pretty common to see something just barely over 1700. Now you're seeing over here in the mid 17s. So, and higher. Like this one right here, the Reds Racing 1773. So, the important stuff, the numbers, how they compare. The ORCA, almost 24,000 RPMs compared to this Speed Zone, which was 24, but loaded 21,389. So you're looking at 300 RPMs higher on the ORCA, with about the same amount of amp draw. Come over here. There was a bigger amp draw, though. Jump between the 473. See here that it was 4.73 without a load versus the 5.38 with a load, without a load. So when you loaded it, the ORCA had a bigger stress on it. So take that in consideration, because the when you start to get under more competition, more technical tracks where torque is a big deal, that's something to look at right there. How it compares to the R1 Works. It's looks like it's a little bit faster than the R1 Works. And then again, you look at the amp draw difference between resting and, I mean, without a load and with a load. It's a bit of a difference there in the amp draw. Then you have the Reds Racing, which not much of a amp draw difference right there. So, I mean, there's a big, huge difference. A 5.84 versus 6.41 and so on. And then how does it compare to the other ones? Let's keep on going up. You take screenshots of these so you can share them. And then keep going up to the top here, the Hobbywing G4R, the most popular one. There's a G4R had a big amp drop with a lot of amp right there. Amp draw on the load, and with the timing there, not bad on the timing. So you got these up here. Phantom is the one I was thinking of that has the same can design where the can screws in the side of the end bell, the back plate. So then you have the Surpass. So my final thoughts on this motor. Is it a good motor? Yeah, it's a good motor. I wouldn't consider it to be a torquey motor. I would consider it more of a probably a good on-road motor. Be a great motor for like 1/12 scale, stuff like that. It's got a good RPM. you're looking for something different, I mean, this is a great way to go. Great way to go. But yeah. So like I always say, it's not the motor that makes the racer, it's the racer that makes the racer. So yeah, you can race this. It'll get you on the podium. So anyways, that's my my review on this motor. It's a good motor. If you liked my review, if you liked the information I provided, please hit the like and subscribe. If you didn't like the content, hit the like and subscribe anyway so you can make fun of the rest of my videos. All right, everybody, you take care.